Hey guys, so for today's video, I'm going to address the 5 most common questions I'm asked as a fitness coach slash personal trainer. So let's get right into it. The first question I'm usually asked is it possible to target specific areas of body fat on the body? The answer is no. There are certain compounds out there, such as tesamorelin, which is a peptide, which could help target visceral fat, which is like the fat that hangs around the organs. But even then, it's not like it targets specific visceral fat and not other adipose tissue around the body. So in summary, no, you cannot target where exactly the body fat's going to come from. The body is going to use its own discretion to decide where it should take the body fat. It's going to tend to lean towards higher concentration areas, but ultimately you can't target it. So no, doing more crunches aren't going to reduce your body fat hanging around your midsection. So the second question I'm often asked, and typically by women, although sometimes I will be asked of it by men, is if I lift heavy weights, will I become bulky? I wish it was that easy. Okay, I've been training since I'm 16 with the sole intent and purpose to become as jacked and bulky as possible. It doesn't happen by accident. You're not going to trip into it like, oops, I just put on 30 pounds of muscle. That's not how it works. For the most part, most women don't have the necessary hormonal profile to really get bulky. I'm not saying that you can't put on a significant amount of lean mass. Of course you can, but it's not going to happen by accident. Your nutrition is going to have to be on point. Your training is going to have to be on point. Your sleep. There's so much that goes into putting on lean muscle mass that being bulky is not a worry that you need to have. Lift weights, lift heavy weights. I'm a big proponent for women to lift heavy weights. It'll just make you look more toned, athletic, and fit. The third question I'm often asked, and this is by beginners, is where should I begin? Somebody is like, you know what, I'm ready to revamp my life. I'm ready to switch things up. I want to make fitness a staple in my life. Where do I begin? Now, as a general rule, I think it's a good idea to remove a poison before you're going to add a cure, because if you remove the poison, you're halfway there. When it comes to fitness, though, I would say that perhaps it is a better start to actually start with the exercise component. Yes, abs are made in the kitchen. To become leaner, you're not going to out-train a bad diet, but it's a matter of momentum. You start going to the gym, you incorporate some fitness into your life. Don't even worry about getting too crazy on the diet end, although obviously you want to implement some changes. But start over there with the fitness, and then it'll build on each other. You start getting momentum. You start feeling a bit stronger. You start feeling a bit healthier about your day. It almost is like reaching for a can of soda or whatever. You're going to be like, oh, that's such a shame. I just had such a good such a good workout this morning. And then it'll slowly ease you into it. Okay, here's another frequent question. How much protein do I truly need to be eating a day? So I would tell you it actually depends sort of where you're holding at in your training cycle. If you're just trying to maintain your overall muscle mass, then eating between 0.5 and 0.75 grams of protein per pound would be a good start. Now, if you're trying to gain muscle, you should be hanging out anywhere between 0.75 to 1 gram per pound of your body weight. Now, here's key. If you're actually in a calorie deficit, you're on a cut, and you want to preserve your muscle mass while you're losing the cut, your protein needs should actually increase because you want to sort of offset any sort of lean mass loss during the calorie deficit. So in such a case, I would tell you to be anywhere between 0.85 grams to 1.25 grams per pound. And here's the last and final question for today. Can I turn fat into muscle? I don't know where this myth has sort of become ingrained in the social consciousness, because I've heard this question so many times. I'm like, well, where did this even enter into the picture? The answer is no. They're two different structures chemically speaking, fat and muscle. But what you can do is, and what you do actually, is when you exercise, you could be burning fat, which is fueling the exercise, which in turn is going to help create the muscle gain. So no, technically you're not converting your fat into muscle, but the fat is fueling the workout, which in turn is going to be fueling the muscle gain. If you guys have questions that you would like for me to address when it comes to fitness and health, feel free to drop them in the comments. Please like and subscribe and share this video to anyone who you think this would benefit. Thank you so much. Have a great day. See you on the next video.